Joe, you can start this one off.
Howdy do, mother every people of the world. Welcome to another episode of Genius Brain, where we be talking about some genius type of materials.
Some bullshit.
That's true.
So, you motherfucker, you got invited out to the McDonald's headquarters, right?
Yes, I did.
Piece of fucking shit. That's so... It's, you know what? It's getting to the point now where I just think they're doing it on purpose to piss me off, because there's absolutely no fucking way that I should not have been invited by now.
I'm like, okay, so I think recently Casey got a deal a month ago.
What the fuck?
But it's from a different group.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So the group that brought out Gina is the same group that brought me out. And then, well, Bart and Gio hasn't got one either.
They will.
Julia hasn't got one either.
Oh, well.
And I don't know. I asked him about it too, but I was hand selected. So no, you know what it is?
Like a fine jewel.
You know what it was? I did a lot of free promo for them before.
Yeah.
So after everybody was like, sponsor JK and all that stuff on their Instagram, right?
Yeah.
They, a couple months ago, they sent me like a bunch of gift cards, and like they gave me some like letters and envelopes, and I
never even got that. I would have done free promo too instantly.
Right. Yeah. Well, they gave me that stuff to just start giving to people. And then they sent me like a 365 booklet of a bunch of free gifts. Mm-hmm. And I just started giving so much to people that I think I was just on the radar because I put in work for them.
I put in work too. And I didn't even have to get free shit. I just kept promoting them.
I'm going to put in a word for you, because what I ended up doing was I asked them hey, JK has a bigger audience. And I was like, why don't you, that would be better if we do it on JK News.
Do you know of David So? Do you see this man? I lost weight on McDonald's.
You know what though? I was actually the biggest one there.
Oh, really?
Well, they were bringing in different people in waves. Mm-hmm. And then most of them were food bloggers and stuff. Like food Instagram. And this was just a strictly Instagram promo.
See, this is what I'm saying. I am everything. I'm a food guy.
Yeah.
I also have great content, and I have 1 million subscribers.
I know.
What else do you fucking want? I own restaurants. I promote the shit. You know what? This is what it is. Jack in the Box, what's up? No, I shouldn't say that. I just throw me anything. I don't care. Give me a fucking pen.
You know what? I think they're saving the best for last. And they're just working up the steps is what's happening. I
want them to give me a McDonald's pen so I could write my feelings on a piece of McDonald's paper. That's all I want. I'm not even asking for much.
I just want recognition.
They're literally doing the thing where they're doing it to everybody else around me because they know it bothers me and it's getting under my skin. That's what it is.
They watch our stuff they're
son of a bitch.
And they thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
They get bombarded though.
But you know what?
Sure.
It's not McDonald's directly.
Yeah.
They have agencies that take care of their marketing.
Well, you marketing fucks. Look at me, dude.
I love you guys. Thanks for the opportunity.
And I would love you too if you give me the same opportunity. I am a food fat ambassador. I'm a fat ambassador.
You know what's crazy? They have a restaurant just to do filming in.
Well, really?
So they have this huge building, right? It's I don't know, 15 floors or whatever. It's huge. And then the bottom floor is this. It's like a regular McDonald's, but it has international products that they rotate. So when I was there, they had matcha latte. They had all kinds of different stuff.
Oh, they had matcha lattes? So you got the sample shit that nobody else had.
Well, they have that in Japan. So sometimes sometimes they'll have things from Australia, like the shaker fries or whatever, or they'll just bring in different products.
She's out there living my damn dream.
and then I was at the Hamburger University where they train all of their hamburger specialists.
What's it like to be you, man? You just got to go there, you get to sample all these treats.
And then they have a restaurant built in just for filming. So
really?
Yeah, and then I think that's the test place where they teach all the franchise owners how to work the registers and the system. The kitchen and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and they use that for filming too.
What the fuck is Hamburger University?
Well, Hamburger University is their school. When you're a franchise owner, you go there.
Hamburglar comes out and shit. Just
Professor Hamburglar.
Yeah, what the fuck?
No, they just come out and then I guess once you own a franchise, you got to learn how to run it. You got to, they want you to be
it's like franchising school, so they teach you how the system runs.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it costs to franchise at McDonald's?
I don't know, but I think you could check out on entrepreneur.com. And last time I checked 10 years ago, it was You have to have $1 million.
So it's a 7-figure franchise.
Yeah. Like not only $1 million in assets, but like $1 million cash or something like that.
What the fuck?
Like it was some big amount of money. I was like, nah, this is too much. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure because it's like a definite that it's going to do well. Like
Yeah.
I've never seen a McDonald's close down unless like a homeless person like lit it on fire, which I did see once.
Yeah. You're right. I haven't seen any McDonald's close down.
Yeah, I've never seen a McDonald's
Yeah.
close down because it wasn't successful. I've only seen it get burnt down. That's it.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, what I love about it is like they're consistent with their product, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, well, it's easy to make trash consistent. I'm kidding. It's trash to everybody else, but it's not trash to me. It's golden nuggets.
You're just bitter.
No, but that's what it is. It's not like this is why I get so upset when so for example, like I was out in Miami for Send Foods,
Yeah.
right? And we were shooting, and then the sound guy was like, we stopped by, and then when we were going on the way back, we didn't have enough time to get the crew a meal. So we're like, yo, wherever you guys want to eat, just let us know so we can give you a quick bite before we stop off. And there was a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, there's a McDonald's. You guys just want something quick. He goes, what? You want to feed us sawdust? I was like, hold on, bitch. What do you mean
That's
sawdust?
what the crew was saying?
One guy. I was like, what you mean sawdust, son?
Wow.
How the fuck? The disrespect. I've never heard. And first of all, too,
Sawdust.
I think like the perception of like fast food is so weird. They go, oh, that's not real food. Then what the fuck am I shitting out of my asshole then, bitch? That's some real shit. You better shut the fuck up. But like, people expect, I don't know what they expect from a fast food joint. They go,
Right.
Do you know what it does to your body? There's a lot of bad things. Like just because the Snicker you ate at home does terrible shit to your body too,
the
bro.
microwave dinner you ate. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, it's different levels.
Yeah, the hot Cheetos you just ate too. It's not any, what's the damn difference?
Yeah. I think, what do they expect? Like some fucking Gordon Ramsay ass, like super pristine food or like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I know what McDonald's is for. If I want to get a 99-cent soft serve cone and some chicken nuggets and some fries, I know where to get it.
Real quick. It's a snack. I mean, it's not meant to be like, you eat it 3 times a day.
Exactly.
I mean, any fast food.
Any fast food.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's there to just enjoy from time to time. And like they even say that too, like is like please don't promote like gluttony. Like I mean like just gluttony, like just massively eating and stuff. It's like it's not, really meant to be that kind of stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what's cool though? You know what's cool is that they have their like chefs that are like the inventors.
They have chefs?
Yeah, so they sit down and like, so I got to taste like what a chicken nugget, what a quarter pounder, like what are these supposed to taste like, made by the best of the best, and
Yo, does it taste different?
it does, dude. Even when it's cold, like we were just sitting there mind blown, like how is this? It's like perfectly fried, perfectly everything, and then the meat that they use at the headquarters, they use like this like prime, like all meat. I mean, it is all meat,
different.
but like yeah, it's like different. Yeah, it's like prime meat, like it's good meat. So I was just like, wow, dude, this is crazy. Like
So what they create in that kitchen, they're trying to replicate that in mass production.
yes, but I think the difference is it was fresh.
Yeah.
So like if you've noticed, like when you go to a regular, McDonald's right down the street or whatever, right? Sometimes the fries aren't good. Sometimes they're good. But there's a slight difference. And it's because the fries were fresh.
Yeah.
Or like, it was just made right now.
Yeah.
So I think when you try it, when it's made at that moment, it tastes so damn good.
Yeah. You get lucky sometimes with McDonald's French fries.
Yep.
Is McDonald's French fries your favorite?
Yep. Did you know you can ask them to make it fresh?
What?
You can ask them, yeah, I want a fresh batch. And they'll be like, okay, well, we're going to make a new one. Or they're like, okay, we just made one. Or you could wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I had no fucking clue. That's fucking wild.
Yeah. It's like a secret.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, because
Yep.
I was out in because when you were doing that, I remember that day you flew out and then I flew out to Florida.
Where were you at? Miami?
I was in Fellsmere, Florida.
Fellsmere?
Fellsmere. And then I was also out in Miami. In Miami. So Fellsmere, Miami, and then where the fuck was that other place? It was like a coastal city though, but it was a city I never really heard
Yeah.
of. But Miami was like a 3-hour drive from there.
What was it for?
It was for Send Food. So we're doing that show where we travel. See, this is what I'm saying. I do food, damn it. So the show is now sold. Another company acquired it, and we'll be releasing our first episodes in February with that company on their channel.
That's dope.
And we basically travel and we go to all these different food festivals all across the United States.
Yeah.
And so we got there, dude, first of all, 3-hour delay. Yo, let me tell you about this shit, dude. Let me tell you about this shit real quick.
Was it like storming and shit?
No, it wasn't. It was beautiful out there.
Oh.
But we had a 3-hour fucking delay. And listen, this is coming from a big guy, right? Like I've been big my whole fucking life. And one thing that if big people don't know this, we tend to be a lot smellier than other people. So we have to be a little more careful about bathing ourselves, right? We just got to wash our crevices a little more. Sometimes big people smell like shit. I'm telling you this as fact from me, so we just got to be a little careful about it. When I was sitting down, there was this big couple, very nice. We're not talking about their personality, but I was sitting down on the floor and their group got called before me.
Yeah.
And they're quite large to the point where they have like, I think one of them had like a walking stick or whatever, right? And young couple too. Yeah. As they walk by, I get a whiff of something that smelled just like toe jam.
No.
And I went, I started gagging. I'm like, what the fuck was that smell? I looked around. It was those two that walked by me. I'm like, oh shit. What? And I always tend to have bad luck on these flights, whether it's like a seating arrangement. Sat next to him? No. So check this out. So I sit down and I see the bigger people there. And what I mean by big is that they're 2 people, but they have to take up 3 seats.
Oh, that big?
That big.
Damn.
And so I'm like, okay, like I know what it is like to be a big guy. So that makes sense. It's going to be a more comfortable flight for them. So I sit down and I'm like, please don't let me be sitting next to them. And I'm in the seat in front of them. And they smelled so fucking bad. Shit. So bad to the point I couldn't lean back in my seat because I would just smell it.
Oh, shit.
So I had to lean forward on the TV with my forehead pressed on the screen just so I could breathe. And it smelled so fucking bad, dude. I was dying. I was fucking dying, dude.
Were people around you like, oh my God?
I'm pretty sure they were too.
Were you sitting next to Tim?
No, Tim was sitting somewhere else. You know what? Tim got the best luck on earth, dude. Like the last flight that we had in Houston. Yeah. So we sat down. I didn't see him anywhere. Yeah. You know what happened? That fool got upgraded to first class.
Why?
Because he's fucking Timothy De La Ghetto. That's why.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm just fucking David So.
Oh
son
my God.
of a bitch.
You guys don't even sit next to each other when you fly?
Because we both like window seats.
Oh, you see, I used to like window. I like aisle now.
I like either or, aisle or window. So I just need that extra space. I just can't be in the middle.
Yeah. Because I don't like the middle either.
Yeah. So window, it's kind of tight, but I need the extra legroom because I'm so fucking tall.
Yeah.
So I like the whole flight, I had to lean forward and press my head against the screen in front because I couldn't breathe if I leaned back.
That's nuts.
It legit smelled like toe jam. Like toe jam. It was fucking disgusting, man. And I don't know in that situation, how do you bring up to somebody that they smell?
I mean, they can't do anything. It's like one of those things where if someone just shit their pants, they already shit their pants. Yeah. What are you going to say? Like, you're going to be like, hey, you stink. It's like, I kind of know that, bro.
Exactly. Like, do I come up to him and say, excuse me, sir, you smell like the shit between my toes, you fat fuck. Like, what do I say to them to make it feel bad? They're nothing. They probably know that they smell. Yeah. And I'm not going to, what am I going to do? Make them feel bad about it?
They might be so fat that they can't scrub.
That's what I was thinking.
I watched this fat show. It was like this guy had a big ass metal bucket. Like it was huge. It's like the shit that you like water. You give water like cows and fucking pigs and horses. Like it was a huge tub, right? And then this fool was taking a bath by like filling it up with dishwashing soap. He uses dishwashing soap. Yeah, he sits in there and his dad has to help scrub him like he's a big ass cow.
Oh, dude, if you go on Netflix, I'm not sure if this documentary is still there, but it's based in the UK where they're following people who are morbidly obese, right? And I at the time loved watching these shows because I wanted it to motivate me to lose weight because I was big too, and I was like, I gotta watch this shit so it scares me fucking skinny. And that's what I thought it was going to do. But there was a scene that made me laugh so hard. And it wasn't supposed to be funny, but the guy was with his wife, right? And I think she's from a Muslim household. Yeah. So she's very, I guess, like she attends to the husband really well.
I see.
And so sometimes he gets a little verbally abusive with her. But it was kind of funny because he was so fat. He was in his reclining chair and then she left one of the screen doors open and there was mosquitoes that were biting his legs. But he was so fat that he couldn't reach down to swat the fucking mosquitoes. So he's sitting there and he's like, you think this is funny? Because his wife's laughing. Yeah. He goes, I can't sit here. I'm getting my legs eaten up by these goddamn mosquitoes. Help me. And just trying to grab him. He couldn't reach his fucking legs. I kind of wonder too, like when you watch these shows, you kind of wonder how somebody gets to that size. Yeah. Because even when I was getting up to I was like 265 pounds, like I felt it. Like it's so hard to ignore.
And I think it's the people around them enabling them. Like there's got to be someone cooking and bringing the food because if they're the size of this room, like they're not getting up and making the food and getting it.
Yeah.
Someone's bringing it to them, you know?
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
And like the amount of calories that they're ingesting, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have a friend in Sacramento who he's a really, really large guy. Still to this day, he's a really, really big guy.
Is he like Brada is? Somewhere over the rainbow?
He's close to it.
Wow.
But he could walk and he's functioning and
Okay.
stuff. And then he works at a hospital, whatever. Kind of ironic. But so whenever I had a conversation with him, he would talk about losing weight and getting fit. And then when we would hang out, I would watch him eat. And it looked like he's eating much. And he goes, yeah, I don't really eat that much, but I keep getting bigger. Now, physiologically speaking, that's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
The calories in that you put will be reflected in your body unless you have like a thyroid issue or something very specific, right?
Yeah.
So every time we hung out, it just looked like he didn't eat much.
Yeah.
Like, he goes like, oh, I'm full, I'm done. And he would kind of push the food aside. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like he's pretty good at moderating his food. But so we went to downtown Sacramento. We all got smashed. When he got drunk, I got to see how much he actually eats.
So when he's drunk, that's when he craves and he
Either
eats a
that's
lot?
when he craves or that's when he's not bullshitting and lying to us.
Oh.
So either he's lying to himself and he's
Yeah.
also lying to us as well.
Yeah.
So I shit you not, we first started with a pitcher of beer. We split it between me and two other people. It was him and another guy. Split it, drank it, split another one. And then at that point, he was getting a little tipsy. Then he ordered a pitcher to himself. He drank a whole pitcher by himself. We're just, egging him on like, yo,
Yeah.
you can't drink that shit.
Yeah.
And he drank the whole fucking pitcher to himself. And then later, we went to this diner in Sacramento called OP's, Original Perry's. It's like a trucker diner, right? And I got to see how much he ate. This dude ate the country fried steak dinner, which, by the way, a trucker diner.
Yeah.
Huge.
Right.
Right.
Those plates, I can eat like half and I'm full.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He eats that. He eats a stack of fucking pancakes. Then he Then he eats the Denny's Superbird. They have a version of that where it's like a BLT with turkey.
Yeah.
He eats that with curly fries, a bunch of ranch,
And he finishes all of it.
a whole thing, hot chocolate and soda.
Dude, that's like a week's worth of food for me.
In one fucking sitting. And I was like, yo, that's how you eat. That's what it was. So this whole time, whatever the 2-3 years of friendship that I had with them,
You just never saw him really eat.
I never got to see it. I think because he was ashamed. And so, when he shows us, he was telling us he doesn't eat a lot. But I saw him eat 3 fucking meals in one fucking sitting, dude.
That's like 2 days worth of food.
Like, I'm sitting there and my mouth is just, what the fuck? Like, I was surprised that somebody like that can eat like a human being can eat that much. So people tend to like, we all do this too. We sometimes when we're embarrassed, we'll say things just to kind of save face. Yeah. But I expected with him because he is a relatively open guy that he would be honest with me. But that just shows that he, no matter how open and cool he is on the outside, his insecurities are there.
Right. Because he's kind of faking how much he eats. It's like, why do you even need to do that?
Yeah. And I bought into it because he's a very confident dude, very funny guy. But he does have an insecurity about his weight, and he still struggles with it till this day.
That's crazy.
It's fucking wild, man.
You know, one of my guilty pleasures watching these like big guy shows is like the moment that they have to cut out the drywall to put him on a fucking dolly, and then like they have to put these guys like on a forklift to get them out.
There was a guy.
Yeah.
He lived with his mom, right? And then they put out on a table how much he eats for breakfast.
Yeah.
It was like a whole pack, like 2 packs of bacon.
Yeah.
It was a whole loaf of like Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
Like a case of eggs.
Yeah, I think I seen the same one. They get the fucking big pack at Costco for the eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like crazy. And I remember like back in the day, remember those shows like Jenny Jones and fucking all those, they would always have like the obese section. And as a kid, I would wait for that moment that they would cut out the wall and have to bring them out because it's still so funny to me until this day that I just wait for that moment. I just wait. I'm like, oh, when are they gonna like bust down the door so they could like? I just want to see the whole house break down.
That literally means that they were living in like confinement for X amount of years. That they can physically cannot go through the fucking door.
You know, it takes them like 6 hours to take a shit. Yeah. Like some of the bathrooms, they have to custom build or like they can't even move to the bathroom. They just need to go in a bucket or something.
And that's the crazy thing too, because that's exactly what you were saying. Somebody is enabling that because they're so big, they can't even walk to the fridge to eat.
Yep.
Even if they wanted to.
But it's also dangerous too to immediately cut the calories.
Oh yeah, because
they can die.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's like extreme. It's like both extremes. Like, you know how during the Holocaust, there were people that were starving and the GIs, that the soldiers that were coming in, and they were like, holy shit, I feel so bad. And they gave them like chocolate. They gave them like something like, and then their body just immediately couldn't take that kind of calorie, and then they died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What
it was
the
like
fuck?
their insulin spiked and all this shit happened, and it just shocked their body because they went so long without eating. And that's the same way with like eating a lot. Like if you're used to taking in like 10,000, 20,000 calories, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you starve yourself, then literally you are starving yourself. Like even if you drop down to like 2,000 calories, your body's in shock because it's like, it's used to getting like an X amount of calories to keep everything working.
I wonder if like UFC fighters go through the same thing then, right? Because they go on such a huge calorie and water cut. Maybe they have to wean right back into it.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that the guys are fighting injured, delirious, dehydrated. Like a lot of them, you know, they're a lot of that it's water weight, and you're dehydrated because you can't drink any water and you're fucking doing everything. Yeah. That's just crazy, man.
It's the other show that I like watching was, you know, Biggest Loser?
Yeah.
Biggest Loser was at the time. So Netflix had like, I don't know, I think it was like 20 seasons of it or something ridiculous.
I love that show.
On Netflix. And I would watch that show just for motivation. But I heard the tactics that they used to get them to lose weight was super unethical.
It's fucked up, dude.
Like, and watching that show too made me feel bad because these people would lose like 60 pounds in a week.
It's the diet pills, but it's the dangerous like diet pills that's been proven to like fuck people up.
I read this article too when I was like binge watching it. This was when I was in K-Town like years ago, and I was reading articles just to follow up on some of the contestants that I really liked on the show to see where they were at now. Yeah. And it was like, I would say like over half of them either gained their weight back or they gained even more.
Yeah,
it's
because of stress.
The stress, you know, they whatever it is that they did to their body, and I think like with that extreme type of weight loss, I mean, easy come, easy go, right, or something like that.
And the show would fuck with them too, and then like get them to relapse because they want the drama, they want them to cry about like being disappointed in themselves and all that shit. Yeah, it was a sad show, man. I mean, it was funny to us, but like when you learn about what the fuck happened behind the scenes, yeah, and then a lot of them were pressured to take diet pills, like behind the scenes, like their agents and stuff would just try to like, come on, just take it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then you could read this up like online. Like there's a lot of people that are kind of like suing them, and they came out like, yeah, I was pressured to taking diet pills and like losing a lot of weight really fast. And then like,
that's the sad part too, because it doesn't teach you good habits.
Nah. I mean, it's all entertainment, right? Like they wanted to create a good show with drama, and you know, responsible people don't make good drama. Yeah. Like if everybody was like level-headed, disciplined, and then, you know, they were good, like that's not a show. A show is like, oh, let's kind of watch them fail so then I don't have to feel so bad about myself.
Yeah, I think the name reality, or the title reality TV show, kind of makes people think that everything is how it's supposed to be, but there's always somebody behind there pulling fucking strings, right? It's like a puppet master, right? For like all those reality TV shows that do really well, there is a producer out there, there is a director, you know, trying to get people to do what they want them to do. Yep. And so,
I mean, it goes as far as to like when they're doing casting, they get a psychologist. So like, I mean, in the industry, we call it unscripted, right? Like there's scripted and unscripted, and unscripted is reality TV. And like when you get like the old school stuff, like what was that real the MTV one, not the Real House.
Oh fucking I know what you're talking about though. Yeah.
When I
Jamie
forgot.
Chung was on it. She got big off of that shit.
They would film that in a set. Oh. They built a set that looks like a home, and then they were acting. Oh yeah, and then on top of that, like let's say you get these like a rehab house, or like you get like some kind of people to get together and they have to stay in this home. Even if they do film it at a house, right? They specifically look for conflicting personalities because they want drama. So they get a psychologist and they'll be like, okay, this guy's this kind of personality, like this guy has OCD and this guy's messy as fuck. So they're gonna fight about that. So let's bring them in and do that. Like. They just figure out really shitty ways on how to like fuck with people for entertainment.
There was that other show called Big Brother.
Yeah.
You remember that shit? I used to
yeah.
just watch that because I wanted to see if they were gonna fuck. I was like, oh, these people are gonna fuck soon. I want to see
like,
what. Yeah, I would just wait because I'm like, oh, that bitch is fucking like I fucking the shit out of him.
Dude, I saw one where it was like a bunch of sex addicts that were trying to be abstinent in a home. And everybody was fucking everybody. I forgot what it was called.
What the
fuck?
Yeah. You sure that wasn't on Playboy TV or something?
No, dude. I was just like, what the hell? Like, of course they're going to fuck each other. But it was like a sex rehab house.
They had a show on Playboy TV called, I think it was like called Swing House or Swingers or some shit like that. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, so it was a show basically where couples would come in and they really want to try swinging super bad. And they're hyper sexually active human beings. And they would have, from what I remember, I think like porn stars were there too, just to get them comfortable.
Yeah.
And they had a room towards the end of the episode where they would just all fuck each other. And they talk about it. And it was so funny. There was this one episode that I saw, and there was a guy and she's talking about their experience. And, you know, usually the guys like it when the girl gets fucked.
Yeah.
By somebody else, whether it's a guy or a girl. And sometimes they have different rules depending on who the person is. But this one, I'm pretty sure you guys can look it up. It's probably somewhere on the internet. But there's a guy sitting there with his girlfriend and she's talking about how there was this black dude that wanted to fuck her. And she was like, yeah, but his dick was really big. And he's just sitting there just smiling like, okay. At first it looked like he didn't bother him much. She goes, and it stretched me out really hard. And she goes, it hurt, but it was kind of a good type of, and she just kept going and going on. And he's just sitting there just kind of nodding and shit. I'm like, you probably kind of regret this a little bit. So she was just talking about how much she loved fucking the other guy.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because usually what would happen is that they have like set rules. Like sometimes there would be a guy, I don't know. I think in that same episode, there was a guy that only allowed his girlfriend to fuck other girls, but not other guys. And the girl would have sometimes rules for the guys too. It's like, you could only fuck a girl that I allow you to fuck though.
You know what? The more you talk about it, I feel like I've seen this.
It was really popular on Playboy.
Was it shot at the Playboy Mansion?
It was shot in a house, or something like that.
But it was
I haven't
like,
seen it in a minute.
It was like cheaply shot, right? Like it looks like it was a 90s reality show or some shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many seasons it went into, but when I watched it, and I watched it here and there too, because I was like,
because they fuck and then they come back and then they review their like
they talk about it. They have them play games and shit too.
Yeah.
But that was like one of my favorite Playboy TV shows, dude. And it was so funny because I would just watch some of these guys be really uncomfortable when the girls would talk about fucking other dudes. But majority of the time, I think they get off watching their wife getting fucked by somebody else.
Yeah,
which I don't know if I could sit there and just watch that shit and smile about it.
Well, I mean, if they're swingers.
That's like their thing.
Yeah, that's their thing.
That was some weird shit,
dude. I want to do a house. I'll call it like political house, but then it's like the extreme version. So we have like straight up like alt-right with like
somebody would get
super
killed.
Communists and like
somebody would get killed in that shit, dude.
let's see it last even one episode.
Dude, I would like to go in there because I just don't know anything about politics. I would just walk in and just be like, I don't know what the fuck.
Or like,
is
remember
going on.
that show, Trading House Swapping Wife? I was like,
yo,
I love that shit, dude. Like wife swap or some shit.
Yeah, they would switch like, it would be like a Mormon wife.
Yeah.
With like a punk rock band family or some shit. And they would fucking, it was so hilarious.
I love that show.
There was some really good reality TV shows back in the day. My favorite one had to be Bully Beatdown.
I love, that shit was dope too.
Bully Beatdown was the shit.
It's because the bullies are still so like, they think they can fight or they just...
Against a professional fucking fighter, dude. They would actually, I heard they would actually give those people, they would train them too, so they could defend themselves in the cage. But, you know, a week worth of training is not going to help you out with an MMA fighter that's been training for like 20 years.
Wait, wasn't Joe Rogan doing that?
It was Mayhem Miller.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn.
He went a little crazy, but Mayhem Miller was the one that was doing it. And there was an episode where Mayhem Miller, the host, actually fought one of the bullies. And he beat the fucking shit out of him, dude.
That shit, I wonder why they stopped that show. That shit was dope.
Yeah, it only went on for like 3 or 4 seasons, but I thought that would last for a very long time. But some of these dudes, like they had Eddie Alvarez on there. They had... They had, what's his name? The guy with the vampire teeth. The fucking Geo Loves.
I forgot.
Yeah, the big
I
ass
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had like UFC champions going there and beat the fuck. Eddie Alvarez like kicked this dude in the fucking face.
And then the more you see the story, the more satisfying it is too.
Oh, 100%.
You're just like, oh man, this fucker deserves it, man.
They would make money on the show too, right? I think they made money.
Yeah, if they won or something.
Yeah. So they would walk away with like $5,000. They had their bully beat up. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the bully made money too if he won because it was like a bet.
Yeah. If they survived the round or something, then they would win like a grand or something.
But they would always get tapped out or something.
Yeah. I mean, how are you going to fight like a pro fighter at that type of
I
level?
always thought that they weren't getting fucked up hard enough. Like they would just get submitted or like
some of
wrestled.
them would.
Yeah.
Some of them, like some of these UFC fighters, because if they experienced bullying themselves when they were younger, they would channel that anger onto that person. Like Eddie Alvarez beat the shit out of that one guy.
Yeah.
Like he beat the fucking living crap out
A lot
of
of those guys been bullied. That's why they did martial arts. Like George St Pierre.
Oh yeah.
He said that he's been bullied like hardcore
Yeah.
throughout his life. And then that's when he joined like Kyokushin karate. And then he did really well in that. So he decided to go into like mixed martial arts.
He told the story too where he met his bully when he was older.
Yeah.
And then when he met his bully when he was older, I guess like I don't know what it was. It was something along the lines of like George St. Pierre. He was like down and out of his luck. And then George St. Pierre decided to help him out. And that's how nice of a dude he is. Because if I saw a guy that bullied me when I was younger, like to the point, it was like, it's not like that regular bullying either. It was like some severe shit.
Yeah.
I would have choked the fucking shit out of him. But I guess, if you're a world champ, it doesn't really
True.
matter.
I feel like once you fucking get to a certain level and you fuck up all these guys, then
What does it do for you?
yeah, I mean, what's the point, And I mean, it's hard not to bully him because he sounds like Kermit the Frog.
Please don't hurt me. But
I mean, if he was in your neighborhood as kids,
it would be hard not to.
it would be hard not to point that out. Like I don't know, but I don't think I would have bullied him that hard. I just would have made fun of him.
He had it was interesting because he even mentioned too on that, I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast, but he was talking about just having empathy for people because I guess the kid that bullied him, he used to get beat by his dad a lot.
Yeah, so he took it out on him.
So he took it out on George. And that was the only way that kid knew how to communicate things. And he grew up in a very broken home.
Yeah.
And that kid's dad used to either, I think it was like beat up his mom or some shit too.
Fuck.
So there was just a lot of like, just violence in that kid's household. So that's how he learned how to deal with it. And it was expressed in bullying George St. Pierre.
Yeah, it's always a cycle, man. Like I always say, like people are only like halfway responsible for what they do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, where do kids learn that shit from?
That's true.
Someone teaches them that, Like,
Dude, that's true. 100%.
No one's like born aggressive and fucking mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you wanted to talk about the...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We got so into conversation.
We got to get into the topic of the podcast today.
So the topic of today is there's been, this circulating all over the internet.
Yeah.
But it's when you see the video, it's just all you see is a group of kids with MAGA hats surrounding this Native American dude beating a drum.
Yeah.
And then like you see the kid's face, it's all smug. He's like smiling at him. And then like the way that it was presented was look at these bunch of MAGA kids that are harassing this Native American.
Yeah.
Now, like initially when I saw that video, have you seen it?
So I saw the video and I when I first saw it, I started getting really mad, right? Like I started making my blood boil. And the reason why is because there's something about that kid's fucking face.
Exactly.
His fucking face, man. Like I saw his face. I was like, that's the face that you just want to fucking smash your fucking fist in. And, I think like when we watch media and stuff like this, we do understand that it's only from one point of view and we never got to see it from the beginning.
Yes.
So I kind of just like rested on it. But then I kept watching the video over and over.
It's just, I didn't like his reaction.
Yeah. It looked like that person that he was taunting was beneath him.
Yeah.
And it started making me fucking mad.
Yeah.
And fucking Tim showed me. I was like, Tim, why'd you show me this dude? It's making me angry. And
then the part that we saw was a bunch of white kids just mocking the Native dude and mocking his song and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It just seemed like something we've seen before.
Yeah.
I think it brought up a lot of immediate like negative emotions. Like even me, I was like, if I was this kid's dad, man, I fucking smacked I smacked the fucking smug off his face.
Yeah.
Cause it was so disrespectful.
Yo, the thing that kind of irritated me too was when you watch that video clip, there's parents there.
Yeah, and they weren't doing shit.
They're laughing.
They were. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, because there was the I remember reading comments. They're like, "Well, oh, if their parents were there, they would have handled these fucking kids." Like, hold on, their parents were there.
They were
there.
Yeah, even their chaperone or teacher or whatever, they were all on a field trip. So the backstory behind it is these kids, they come from a Catholic school.
Yeah.
It's like a all boys school called like Covington or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were there to protest a pro-life thing. And on the same day, in Washington, D.C., if you guys ever been there, there's a lot of like protests or marches or things going on the same day.
Okay.
Or there's just people there like saying what they got to say to the government, right?
Yeah.
So the boys are there to promote pro-life. They're on this field trip with their school, and while they were there on the steps, there is this extremist group called the Black Israelites or like the Hebrew Israelites, right?
Yeah.
So they're always around New York or wherever they are, and they're just spouting out crazy racist shit all day long. Like they're like if they're like the black version of the Westboro Baptist church.
Like I've heard about them before, but I don't know too much about
so
them.
their whole spiel is like the real Jewish people are Africans.
Okay.
And then like they have their own idea of what history was. They think that history's been whitewashed and I just did a little research on them and I don't know everything about them, but to me, they are an extremist group. So they were standing there shouting out shit to the kids. And there's like this whole 2 hour from beginning to end of how it happened.
Yeah.
And they were saying some really fucked up shit like, oh, future school shooters, like white this. And they were saying some really racist shit toward the kids.
Yo, I actually do remember a clip of a few Black Israelites that went viral where a lady approached them. And I don't remember who was right or wrong. I don't think I was really looking at that. But it went viral because I guess one of the guys like grabbed her and threw her to the floor.
Yeah.
Because they got into an altercation. I think she started it, but obviously the violence in it is the part that where the escalation happened.
But they're just like, they're just angry, like they're cussing at the kids and all that stuff. And to me, like, I mean, they're kids, like why are you doing it? But I think they're the ones that kind of set off this tension. And then the kids are kind of there in a circle, just, like being themselves, just yelling back. And then
like kids would do.
Just yell back. And then the native dude, his name is Nathan Phillips.
Yeah.
So his point was what he wanted to do is diffuse the situation by playing some Native American music on, and I think it's a chant to like chill everything out.
So he was in between.
So he started to walk in between both of them, and then he walked up to the group. So here's where things get kind of fucked up. Is like originally the way that it was reported was that the boys surrounded the Native American guy and then taunted him.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem like
it was an attack that they went out of their way to do.
Exactly. And then and then the Nathan Phillips dude, like he also kind of told his perspective in a way that was not so favorable to the kids.
Yeah.
Because he didn't say in the very beginning, like, I walked up to the boys. He says he was saying some other stuff. But then now he cleared it up and he says, yeah, I walked up to them. So then people thought that the boys initiated the first whatever was going on.
So that's why I didn't even look that far into it. I just saw the look and I just.
Exactly. Now that's what we see in the aftermath.
Of course.
Like I didn't like that kid's look either, and I didn't like any of that stuff. But then the way that it played out, there's so much. This is what I hate about the most. Like the way that the media just kind of took the narrative and made it all fucked up.
Yeah.
Is what is really dividing this country, because the people that are kind of standing up for the kids, they're saying at the end of the day, like these kids are getting doxxed. They're under 18. We've all like done stupid shit. But at the same time, like, we're all picking on kids. Like, leave them alone, right? That's their argument.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other side of the argument is like those kids were disrespectful, which they were.
Yeah.
And then, like they were harassing the native dude. And then like everybody's trying to talk about other people's intentions.
Yeah.
I'm just clearly looking at what happened.
Yeah.
And what happened was the native dude stepped up to to the school kids.
Yeah.
And while he was playing the music and drumming, the black Israelites or whatever, he was calling out the black kids in the group of white kids.
Yeah.
And then they were calling them like coons and like, or maybe they didn't use the word, but they were using that word of like backstabber.
Yeah.
And then the black kids were just like, we're here to do the pro-life shit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it was just crazy because you see these full-grown adults yelling and attacking these children.
Yeah.
And they're obviously teen boys,
Yeah.
you know? And then when they didn't show this part, but when the native dudes were talking to the white kids, there was this one native dude that was like, go back to Europe, you know, you guys don't belong here and all that. And I'm all like, this is a fucking kid, bro. Like,
Yeah.
why are you showing so much aggression toward a fucking high school kid? You're an adult.
Yeah.
You know, but I think all sorts of shit went wrong in that moment because it was tense. And then I think the Nathan Phillips guy, what he was trying to do was, he says he was trying to diffuse the situation.
Yeah.
But some of the boys took it as he's being aggressive.
Yeah.
He's beating a drum in front of my face. That's aggressive. That's
Yeah.
how they took it as, right? So I don't really know. Like, no one knows. But the
Yeah.
point is, the media, the way that they reported it was, oh, here's this guy who's a Vietnam vet. He's being
mocked
disrespected.
and being disrespected.
His culture's being disrespected, which I kind of side with. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it just came out too that he's not even a Vietnam vet. He is a veteran, like he was in the Marines, but he didn't get deployed to Vietnam.
Okay.
So there's a lot of misinformation.
You know, I think the hard part is just, you know, we all get entrenched in our own views, and there's a confirmation bias that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
The moment I saw that fucking video, I got angry like that as well. And even
Yeah.
then, like I kind of posted something on Twitter. Like I was just irritated. I was like, yo, this is why you should beat fucking kids' asses. I was like, this is
Right.
why you should get fucked up.
Right.
You know, and I really did think that. And you know, even after hearing all these facts,
Yeah.
to this, it's probably my confirmation bias, man,
Yeah.
because I saw that face growing up a lot.
Well, it's because we've all experienced that kind of bullying from white kids.
Yeah.
So then
Or even as a fucking adult, man.
Right.
Like I've experienced that shit.
that smug face, that
I'm better than you.
condescending look,
Yeah.
that, you know, it's just different.
Yeah.
And then when you see it again, and then when I saw the whole video, I was like, oh shit, I know how that happened. Like they could have just been scared, and that kid's like, I'm standing my ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because he came up to him.
Yeah.
But then what that did was trigger a past memory. It's
Yeah.
not that, it's what we thought was very separate from what happened.
Exactly.
So-
and then, you know, it makes me kind of sad too, where I look at that and I'm supposed to be somebody who, and I preach about the shit too, where it's like, yo, let's chill out and kind of like collect your thoughts and look into some of these facts. But then, you know, that confirmation bias that I have, I already made up my mind despite the facts. I was like,
Right.
yo, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
You know, but even then I still think about it and I still understand why people are still angry.
Yeah.
It's because even after said fact,
Yeah.
there were still kids that were laughing at that guy, just, you know, barking
Yeah.
at him. And let's say it was the black Israelites that did start the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they still pointed their aggression at the wrong person.
Right.
And so there's still that issue that there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to move past that part. And I think even that's why when people bring up the black Israelites, I think, well, from what I was reading, everybody's saying, what does that have to do with what you did to this guy?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, like you said, tensions were already high.
Yeah. They started this high tense environment.
So people make mistakes.
But the thing is, no matter what, man, the adults that were chaperoning these kids, there's photos of them just standing there.
Yeah.
They could have used this opportunity to step in and been like, yo, like, this is how you fucking deal with a tense situation like an adult. They were just standing and watching.
And it doesn't help with the whole case of them saying, well, they're just kids. Well, there were adults too. And they
Right.
were doing the same thing. And so that means that they learned that from somebody, right? And it was probably from those adults back there that think that it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's weird too in this situation because I think in this space or the space that we're in now, everything goes online and it's really hard for people to get away with the things that they do.
Yeah.
But on top of that, it can be skewed depending on what they put up.
Exactly, dude. Because I try to research both. Like I'll read like, you know, what the right has to say about it, and I'll read what the left has to say about it. And they both make sense to me.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for me to side I just try to understand what both are concerned about.
Yeah.
And then what the right is concerned about is like, hey, let's keep the kids out of this. Let's not dox these kids.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I mean, like, shit happens, but you know, they're focusing on the kids basically.
Yeah.
And then what the left is like saying is like, teach your fucking kids.
Yeah.
And
you know
yeah.
what? There's like a double whammy to this too.
Yeah.
Because it's a Catholic fucking school. So people associate like Protestant religion with love,
Yeah.
kindness, and acceptance. And so there's just criticism coming from both ends,
Right.
from like a societal thing and then also a religious thing. It's
Right.
like, yo, aren't you supposed to be a Catholic school?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to have like these Protestant beliefs? So what the fuck are you teaching? So not only does it do this, like it does a terrible injustice to just like how the youth is,
Yeah.
but also to the actual religion that they're supposed to represent.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was just like, I just read a lot of comments about that too. Like, yo, isn't this a Catholic school?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And I, you know, what do you say to that?
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. I mean, and this isn't to excuse it, but there's other kids that had experiences with this school. Like there was
Yeah.
this one gay kid that got beat up by the students there.
Oh, shit.
There's like
All the dirt's coming out.
yeah, there's like a basketball athlete that was charged with rape, and I mean, like, no school is
Perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
because there's I mean, there were drug dealers in my school. I fucking did dirt, like, you know. But the thing is, a lot of people don't understand that specifically this school. What I read about it is it's one of those private schools when like kids get in trouble, and if their parents are rich, then they send them off to like these kind of schools. Like how
so
Bart
they're-
went to military school
Yeah, so they're
and
already
things like that.
troublemakers.
Yeah, so it's like a group of kids that are kind of like, you know, they're all trying to reform themselves, or like the adults are trying to reform them, you know?
And you know, to your point too, it's kind of hard to say. Like, how are you gonna look up for specific negative instances and kind of blame a whole school for it?
Yeah.
Because we could have done that for both of our high schools, and then we got way worse shit,
Exactly.
dude.
Yeah, that's why I'd be a hypocrite just to play like Mr. Morality. Like, I'm like, fuck, dude, I fucked up hard in high school.
Dude, there's this girl named Nancy in high school that was chilling on campus, and her boyfriend Jimmy walked up to her it was either after school at lunch. I think it was after school.
Yeah.
Comes up, socks her right in the fucking nose, blood everywhere, and he
Yeah.
just walks off campus.
Yeah.
Like I got stories for days about
Yeah.
my high school, dude. Like, so I don't know if those type of instances are a good way to represent a whole school, because we could do that for any fucking
Yep.
high school in terms of like people who have done like things that were sexual misconduct wise, violence,
Yeah.
you know, vandalism, got all that stuff. So I don't know about that.
I think that's why, though, the right brings up the point about kids will be kids, because we all done shit like that.
Yeah.
But when we hear that, it sounds like they're dismissing the behavior. They're like, well, kids will be kids, just let it be.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nah, dude, you got to use this opportunity to like,
To set an example.
yeah, or teach, or like, you know, I don't know.
And I think too, it just kind of moves beyond the kids will be kids things, because the adults were there. So
Yeah.
it's more like these people are trying to be like this forever.
I mean, if anyone's responsible, it is the
fucking adults, the chaperones.
adults. Yeah, they were there to fucking watch over them, and they weren't watching over them.
Yeah, I still don't understand that part,
Yeah.
because even in my school, when shit went down, or you know, if something like that went down, there would be an adult that would tell people to get the fuck back
Yeah.
and go to class or move on. They
Yeah.
wouldn't let them go around start chanting in front of somebody and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that was the weird part for me. That made no sense.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just kind of fucked up. And I want to touch upon like why we're so separated too, because I have some data and I
Yeah.
did some research on, like, a lot of people wanted me to further like talk about the Russian involvement in our country. And
Yeah.
it sounds like a conspiracy, but no, I mean, like, I think it was Dateline or Frontline. What's that channel? One of those channels. But they did a 2-hour documentary. I mean, this is a legitimate, like, old school journalist, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is not like some new publication that just
It's not
spilled the
Vox
shit.
putting up something real quick.
Well, I mean, like, they have to get evidence before they post this kind of shit.
Well, you know, Russia's involvement within our government. I mean, obviously, like, America and Russia has always had a very like tumultuous relationship, right?
Yeah.
And especially after this past election,
Yeah.
so many things are being uncovered about Russia's involvement within
Right.
our election and everything else. And so it's just this reoccurring thing that keeps popping up. So I think for me, when I hear stuff about Russia, I don't know. It's because whether I have gotten desensitized to so much negative bullshit going on in this country that I don't even care to listen sometimes because it's like, oh, what else?
I mean, they're one of the biggest reasons why Americans are so polarized and separated. Because you know, recently Zuckerberg had to go on trial.
Oh yeah, that's right.
For his like negligence and how he ran Facebook and things like that, right?
Yeah.
It's because they were getting like warnings from everybody saying like, yo, Russians are fucking doing something, but we don't know what it is. But you guys got to look into it. During that time, their security team on Facebook was like 5-10 people or something. And we're talking about like with a user base of like a billion people. Yeah. Right. So Russia, like you heard of troll farms? Government. No. Okay. So there's government funded hacker groups and like troll groups. So basically like your job for 8 hours a day or whatever it is
to talk shit.
Exactly. So but it goes further than just talking shit. You create accounts like you're John from Milwaukee. I'm freaking Joe from LA. You create these accounts, right? And then you're very like, you'll be the alt-right and I'll be like LGBT Joe or whatever. Yeah. And then we'll go into these different forums and we'll start fighting and we'll create Facebook groups and then we'll start cultivating like-minded individuals. Yeah. We'll create like they were responsible for a lot of our protests and stuff. Yeah. So there was this one incident and then the CIA or FBI, they traced this and then they can prove this. So what they did was there's a mosque in Dallas or in Texas somewhere. And they created like an extremist Muslim group. Yeah. And then they created like a very like alt-right, like anti-Muslim group. They brought members in Texas into this group. And then they said that we're going to protest and on this day. And then they wanted to get both groups to protest on this day in front of the mosque so they could fight.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then they've been doing that all around this country. So like some of these extremist groups that we've been getting and wondering why is the country so separated? Why are these people constantly fighting? A lot of it is because of the Russian troll farms. And then I wouldn't be surprised if some of them came into JK News and came into like YouTube got really toxic, you know? And imagine if you're getting paid to just sit there and talk shit all day long, but not only that, create Facebook groups, create like websites, create fake news, like all of this shit. Like if you're getting paid to do that, you have so much time to just sit there and develop like drama. Yeah. And a lot of people, they're so blind. They like when you read a negative comment, right? You think it's just a person in America talking to you. Yeah. You don't think it's like a Russian troll farmer with like you could even look at their Facebook and it's like, oh, they used a different person's picture. You know, they have a fake profile, all this stuff. Yeah. And it looks like a real guy. And then these guys are out there constantly trying to fuck people up, like the American culture. Like they're using our democracy against us. Yeah. Yeah.
So their purpose and their goal is what?
To destabilize the United States. Keep us busy fighting each other, you know? And then like ultimately within the powers of nations, right? Like there's money battles going on. There's political battles going on. There's all these things. And then it's like, if our resources are being used up, like trying to keep things under control in-house, then we're going to be less worried about what's happening out there.
It's hard in America just because I don't know if a lot of people understand this, but America is huge, the United States, you know, so when we compare like our sense of like nationalism to another countries, it's hard to say because just think about this alone. California as a state, the population wise is like another country in and of itself. Texas, another country in and of itself. And they all have separate cultures. And because the United States is just, it's just like 50 nations that kind of just combine into one. It's hard to create this single sense of nationalism. Everybody has their own ideals. And so we're just like a country that kind of just argues with within itself all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't get this sense of like, when people say I'm proud to be an American, I feel like everybody's definition is vastly different from somebody else's. You know, because when I see like nationalism or like pride in your country in another country, it seems to be like the same definition.
Right.
But here it seems to be extremely different depending on where you're at, where you're from, and where you're going.
Well, the core value is supposed to be our Constitution.
Yeah.
That's what the core is supposed to be, is the freedom and the freedom of ownership and the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And things like that, which I think is kind of under threat right now because it's so polarized that the left is going even more left.
Yeah.
And then what's dangerous about that is like they want to be more socialist and they want to be more one.
Yeah.
In a way that's kind of closer to communism.
I mean, if anybody's listening to this right now, I think the biggest thing that people have to realize is how much of the content you see is controlled by somebody else.
Exactly.
And it's so hard to explain this because they think it's conspiracy. It's not fucking conspiracy.
No.
It is a fucking fact. The stuff that you see on your Facebook, it's literally modified and geared towards the stuff that you already have a bias on.
Yes.
So you just get more entrenched into the stuff that you want to think. So for example, red and blue states, the Facebook stuff that you see politically, completely different.
Right? Exactly.
It's going to be
even on my news feed on my phone.
Yeah.
When I was in Arizona, I was like telling Jess, like, hey, look, like all of this news is Fox and Republican stuff.
Yeah.
And as soon as we come back into California, all the news feeds that pop up, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This
Way
is
different.
crazy.
People don't realize that.
Yeah.
They think that's bullshit. They're like, no, these are facts. Even facts, I don't know what facts are anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, like even statistics. What are fucking statistics now?
Yeah.
There's always a bias in it.
Right.
Like I don't know. There is no like clear definition of truth anymore. It's just people want to see what they want to see. And even when they give out like numbers and metrics, even those are skewed.
Yeah.
So now I'm just sitting here like I don't know what to believe anymore.
Well, I mean, I've been kind of knowing and saying this for like the past 10 years, right? Because I think my family members are all like they're pretty smart and they're into different things. Like my brother's a researcher and he's told me like, you know, all of research, it's all business or government funded and there's an agenda. Like he's worked for chocolate companies and they pay you lots of money and you kind of want to find positive things about chocolate, you know? So like he told me like, yeah, like when they advertise green tea is this and that, he's like, it's true, but it's a white lie because you need to drink gallons of it for it to work.
Yeah.
Like the Mars company, they got in trouble for saying like chocolate does this and it's good for you. But then like they don't tell you all the negative stuff like, oh, well, it has a shit ton of sugar. And then like if you actually, you know, if for it to be effective, you need to eat pounds of chocolate. But then they find one research out and then they can now promote it, right?
That's why I got fat, dude. They keep telling me chocolate was good for you.
Right.
Look at me now.
But then now it's like a common truth that everyone thinks that it's true because it's promoted, right? And then now it's like it's almost like carrots make you see better. Like that goes out and everyone thinks you eat a carrot you can see better.
Yeah.
Right? Like it fixes your eyesight, but it doesn't do any of that.
Yeah.
So it's like there's just a lot of things that's been happening for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And we've just been blind for a really, really long time. So if I were to say these things back in the day, right, people would be like, oh, you fucking conspiracy theorist. No, don't talk to Crazy Joe. Like he's just saying crazy shit. It's because people are not ready to listen because it is depressing to understand that nothing is for sure, like confirmed.
Yeah.
So what are facts? And then it's like a lot of people are in this position now. And I think that's why there's so much depression and shit going on. Because everyone's just like, I don't know what to believe. Everything's been a fucking lie. And like their whole idea of reality is all fucked up now.
Now I start to understand flat earth people a little more. Because they've been lied to so much.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, maybe the earth really is flat now. I don't know what the fuck to believe. Fucking Eddie Bravo, man. Maybe Eddie Bravo got it right. Fucking psychopath.
Yeah. And also like a lot of people aren't trained to think. Like, you know, even if you go to college, right? You know, a lot of people that went to university, but they didn't apply themselves. They don't know how to think critically.
Yeah.
Like they'll hear something from their friend and that becomes fact. They read something on a newspaper that becomes fact. Like there's no they don't know how to look at the research and go like, oh yeah, this is something that I can believe in because, there's evidence.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they look at a fucking meme and then they see a stats chart and they go, that's evidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, they don't know.
That's why I like the phrase just agree to disagree sometimes now.
Yeah, just let it go. Don't be so emotionally invested, man.
Like, who the fuck cares, man? Because I see, especially, and this is not even an age thing, adults probably arguably do this more than young people, because I see it on Facebook whenever I do go on, which is one of the biggest reasons why I stopped going on Facebook, because it's just a bunch of old fucks arguing about bullshit that doesn't fucking matter.
I feel like they're the worst.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
And they shit on these kids so much. They're like, oh, you kids don't know shit, and all you do is argue all day about dumb. That's you, jackass. That's every time there's like, dude, I hate it when fucking old people make memes. It's some of the most unfunny shit ever, dude.
Yeah.
They just write like a political meme and then just old people laughing. I'm like, this is not funny at all, you old fuck.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, dude?
I know.
And the older we get too, I hope I don't become like them.
I know.
I'm like, am I going to be like that? Am I going to be making jokes like that? Fucking shit.
I think it's just people who are stubborn. It's not really old people, like people that don't want to learn.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of older people that I guess like they stay relevant, they stay current because they still want to grow and learn and study and evolve their minds.
It's just such an odd space to be in, man. Like, now I truly understand why people say ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Because you can't be hurt by things you don't know.
Dude, I wish I was a giggly motherfucker that just didn't know. Like, things happen, you know?
That's why those country bumpkins are fucking happy as shit. Yo, we know somebody right now. This girl is very sweet, but this bitch, dude, like if she jumped up in the air, you would hear marbles in her brain, dude. Like, but she looks so fucking happy, dude. And I envy that sometimes, dude. Like, she could be in the worst situation on earth. It doesn't fucking matter, because in her, those two little paper clips and thumbtacks are fighting each other in her brain, and that's the only thing that fucking matters, dude. She's so carefree, man.
I know.
I wish I could be like her sometimes.
It's all about living in the present, man. And I think like I'm glad that I know all these things, but the thing is, you don't want to obsess.
Yeah.
You got to control your emotions, because it's like once you know you have the power, because knowledge is power, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Like,
there's really nothing to, and I think too, when you guys, or when people in general create a group of friends, I think one of the healthiest things, or the healthiest type of person to have within your group, or the people, are people who can have a discussion about something, disagree, and just be okay with it.
100%. I mean, that's like us, right? Like, we all have different beliefs. Like you're Christian, and I'm not Christian, but I can respect that. You have faith in that religion. I'm not gonna knock you for that. There's a lot of different things that we might believe in, but that doesn't take away the relationship we have as friends. And I think that's how we should approach America, right? Like, people that live in the country who, have totally different ideals, maybe they're devout Christians or whatever, like we should respect that and be okay with it. Maybe even have a conversation and try to learn like each other's lifestyles or whatever.
Like, not too long ago too, like I was in a college show, and this kid asked me, my religious preference, right? He was like, oh, so what are you? I was like, oh, I'm Christian. Like, well, how can you say that you're Christian when you curse and you do all these other things?
Nowhere in the Bible says thou shalt not cuss.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but these are my set of beliefs. Yeah. And what I was trying to explain to this young man, he goes, well, don't you think that's like a waste of time? There's no facts behind it. I was like, well, faith isn't fact. Right. And it's just something that keeps me whole as a person. And so, he's getting arguably irritated.
Because he wants to control his world.
Yeah.
Like those kind of people, they want to wake you up.
Yeah. And I'm looking at him and I go, okay, well, definitively for you, right? So why don't you think it exists? And he goes, this, and that. He goes, well, for me, I'm not trying to convince you that my world exists. I'm just telling you, this is what makes me happy. Yeah. So for you to sit there and tell me that this is a waste of my time, it's irrelevant, because I'm happy. You're the one that's upset wasting your time talking to an idiot then. Yeah. If I'm the idiot, why are you wasting your breath on me, the dumb person?
That reminds me of the like hardcore movie or comic guy or whatever it is. They're so into their shit. If you tell them that what they like sucks, they'll fight you to fucking death to convince you why it's good.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at this kid, and like I'm always open to have these type of conversations, and I'm just telling him, it's like, okay, I was like, well, let me just give you another alternative thought. Let's just say God doesn't exist, but I did my best to follow this religion and it made me happy, right? And the end result is that I died with the purpose and I felt good about it.
Yeah.
Did I waste my life or not?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you could have done. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what your end goal is. If my end goal is to live happy and follow something that keeps me as a person whole, then I guess I was very fulfilled, right? And what's the other side? What's the other side that if he does exist? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the negative to this?
Yeah.
As long as my happiness and what I'm doing doesn't obstruct what you're doing,
right,
then you should be kind of cool with it. Because right now we just had an hour conversation about you being mad. We had you're mad because I believe in this being that you can't prove exists.
Yeah.
It's like that, and that's cool with me, bro.
Yeah.
Like if I said to you, I'm not coming up to you saying, hey, bro, just to let you know, Satan's gonna fuck you in the ass. And you're gambling with some Satan dick right now, bro. Like you don't even know right now. See, you're not believing in God. Guess what? On that other side, there's a pitchfork in your mouth with a fucking spiny dick up your ass, and Satan's fucking you right now. You're not scared of that? I can't have this conversation with you like that. Like it's so weird. Like that conversation, it didn't even irritate me. It's just I didn't understand why he couldn't just walk away and say,
well, it's because they're not fighting you. It's like, imagine what if their parents were devout Christians that forced them to go to church and he has all this pain and he's yelling at you about that.
Yeah.
Like he's taking it out on you.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't take it out on his parents. It's the same thing with like people that like let's say like if something racist happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Like some white guy like called you a chink or whatever. And then like next time you have an opportunity to tell another white guy off, you're taking it out on some random
something
dude,
that happened in the past,
right? And I think these people that are just angry and just they don't have a point to their argument, they just want to fucking take out their aggression on shit. There's something that happened to them, and they're just taking all that negative energy and trying to unleash it on you.
Yeah, there was
and I think that's all it is, man.
There was also a producer that I worked with on Gook, and he, I guess like within his family, he had missionaries in his family. But whatever experience that he had with his missionary mother or father or whatever that it was, I'm not sure if it was his dad or his mom, but either way, left a very poor taste in his mouth. Yeah. And every time the topic of religion comes up, he just fucking goes off, dude.
Wow.
With his stupid fucking lisp. Let me just tell you this real quick about religion, bro. So this was like, shut the fuck. Nobody fucking cares, man. Because sometimes people don't understand time and place. Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's a reason why people say at the dinner table you don't bring up what? Religion, politics, and money.
Yeah, you just want to have a pleasant conversation and eat good food.
Yeah. People don't know
social skills, people.
People have fucking social skills.
Social skills.
Like even with that kid who brought it up, yeah, I'm okay with it. But it's like, bro, I just met you, man. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Like, does he think he's going to change your mind? Like, you're going to go, you know what? You're fucking right. Yeah. There's no facts behind it. You fucking taught me so much today. Yeah. Like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen?
Now, I pray every night that Satan will fuck him in the ass. That's all I'm praying now. It's like, I do the most ungodly shit now. I'm like, God, if you could just please just shoot one tornado right into the socket of his eyes. Please.
Please throw him in the eye of a hurricane.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. I don't understand sometimes how people they're just not sociable. They don't understand how to socialize with people.
Right. It's like the comments. Like when you see people arguing in the comments, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like to me, it's a fun sport. It's fun. But I can tell that for a lot of people, this is real life. Like they're in it. Like they're really trying to debate and fight somebody over the internet. And dude, I'm just like, that's weird.
I read this fucking comment that Furious Pete wrote. Yeah. So Furious Pete is a YouTuber who he's a competitive eater. Yeah. He owns his own like fitness apparel. The guy's a very highly successful guy from Canada. Amazing dude, super nice guy. But he survived testicular cancer once, and then he actually found out that he had to get surgery to remove his other testicle
again.
Yeah. So and he has been going through a lot. So he had testicular cancer once. It got removed. So his testicle was 3 times the size of the other one. Whew. It was hard. Testicular cancer, got it removed, survived. Yeah. And I guess what happens after, or I'm not sure how typical it is, but the cancer will move up somewhere else. Yeah. And then I think he went through chemo for that. Yeah. Fought it, defeated it again.
He's a strong dude, though.
Strong guy. And so later on, he found out whatever this chemical that's in his body, for a male, it should be 0. but it was at a ridiculously high number. Anything
Yeah.
above 0, that's a sign that you could have like testicular cancer. So he got in for a checkup and he found out it was a big fucking number.
Wow.
And then after a month, it started going down, 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 down.
Yeah.
But I think recently he got he had to get his other testicle removed.
Wow.
So he lost both
That
testicles.
sucks.
But, he actually did save his healthy sperm.
Oh,
So,
cool.
so they
froze him.
Yeah, so him and his girlfriend or fiance
Yeah.
will be able to have a kid in the future through like in
awesome.
vitro fertilization or something like that. But somebody wrote a comment, right? After somebody goes through something very serious like this, somebody wrote a very insensitive comment where they said, hey, basically kind of going into the whole thought of like medicine is a lie. You probably wouldn't have had this happen if you didn't go to the doctors, and they're just doing this so they could keep you on a medical.
Fuck.
He had testicular cancer, you fucking fucknut. The guy was dying. His testicle was 3 times the size of this is not conspiracy. It's there. His ball was the size of a fucking bowling ball.
This fool probably watched like an anti-vaccination documentary,
God.
and like he probably saw like a big pharma documentary, and then
Exactly.
like yeah.
It's testicular cancer.
Yeah.
It's not the common cold, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's trying to have like what were you trying to do? Were you trying to like, you know what, dude?
And it's already done.
It's done.
Like
His
what are you
balls are
supposed to
gone.
like? What are you supposed to do? Is like, oh well, thanks for telling me now. Now I could do something about it. Like even if he was gonna do anything about it, he can't.
Yeah,
it's
he can't.
it's already done. Now you're just gonna fucking rub something in someone's face, even if it was real. Like even if all those conspiracies that he believed
Time
in,
and place.
exactly. You're pretty much fucking a person that's almost dying.
Yeah.
Or just beat death. You're
Yeah.
just, fucking kicking them back in the coffin, basically.
Yeah, man.
What a fuck nut,
That's
dude.
what I'm saying. And these people too, that I guess like in his thing, he goes, I'm a huge fan. Really, are you though, bro?
No.
Like, I don't know what fandom really means, but if that's the case, then you are. I don't know if you were trying to help him out, but that comment couldn't have come at a worse fucking time. The guy survived cancer 3 fucking times.
Yeah.
And then you decide to write this comment. And Pete, by the way, doesn't respond back to negativity like that.
Yeah.
He's very good about that. But something that you said caused him to respond back.
Yeah.
Which shows the type of damage that you were doing on his psyche.
Yeah.
The guy that doesn't get phased by shit like that. The guy survived cancer 3 times, but you wrote something that rocked him a little bit. And even then, what were you thinking? What was your end goal?
Yeah.
Like,
What was your point?
Yeah.
Fucking moron.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's such a weird thing to deal with now.
It's crazy how many people just like it's so weird. Like they say all these crazy things and then they go, "Oh, well you should be able to take criticism from your fans."
Like, why? Who are you?
But sometimes, like you said, time and place, like
Yeah.
a lot of the times they don't see us as human beings.
Yeah.
Or oh, if you're so fucking public, you should be able to take it and all these things. And it's like at the end of the day, man, I feel like these people are just hurt
Yeah.
and they're not communicating what's going on correctly.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like, I mean, we grew up with Asian dads, and they don't know how to show and express things, and like they don't know how to be vulnerable. What if this fucking kid is like, "Oh, Pete, I don't want you to die because I look up to you." But like I'm hurt that like my hero is so vulnerable. Like my hero can actually like die, and then he takes it out on his hero. Like shit like that happens all the time. But they don't know how to express themselves because they grew up in shitty homes. They probably don't get any communication from their parents.
Yeah.
Like the way these people are raised and grown, like I think like they're fucked. That's why they communicate the way they do. No one taught them the right way.
It gets scary too, because it's easier for people to hide behind a screen now than it is to ever have to talk somebody and say it to them face to face.
Yeah. And I call them out all the time. If I see a shitty comment, I'm like, "You afraid to show your face, bitch?"
Yeah. I'm doing this thing in 2019 where I'm like, I'm only going to respond to positive comments because like I think I've wasted, it's not even a waste of time. It kind of is because, okay, I'm going back and forth. I enjoy it too much.
It is. It's fun. It's a sport, man.
Like I enjoy it because I'm sitting there and the only thing I'm thinking about is what can I say to piss this person off? And for me, it's a game, so
Yeah.
I tried to say something that'll make them really fucking mad. And that's the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay, well, what about these people who are supportive of you? Maybe you should give them some fucking love instead of always giving attention to these pieces of shit.
exactly.
So I'm trying to like flip that up. But sometimes it's fucking hard. Like somebody wrote this comment, and Tim kind of roasted this dude.
Yeah.
We put up a photo of us doing the food festival shit, and this kid wrote, "Oh, what are 30-year-olds doing wearing backpacks?" Like like, what?
Like, are you supposed to walk around with a suitcase or a fucking satchel and
Yeah,
shit?
you fucking dumb bitch. Like, who doesn't have a backpack on? Am I supposed to carry all my shit in a fucking grocery bag, you little fuck nut?
Maybe a burlap sack?
Yeah, what the fuck does a backpack have to do with age, you fucking cocksucker?
Hey, you're 30 now. You should wear a purse.
Yeah, you little dumb fuck. You know what? How old are you? You're 12 years old. Don't you fucking dare drink any type of milk, you son of a bitch. I don't give a fuck what it does for your bones. Like the logic doesn't make any sense. Like I just wanted to snap this kid's fucking neck. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Now all I want to do is say something to piss you off. But 2019, David said, you know what, David? Just let it go.
You know what's so funny about this like now the way the internet is, like when we first started, right? Like a good fucking 5 years plus, no one was trying to be a hall monitor. There's so many fucking hall monitors now, dude.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe I have younger people try to tell me like, oh, watch your language and
Yeah.
fucking dress like an adult and do this. I'm like, damn fool, where's your youth, man? What the fuck?
Did I get some of the weird? I say a majority of my like diehard fans, the people that still watch my stuff, they tend to be fairly intelligent, and I think they like to hear real shit.
Yeah.
It's just there's like a couple people that trickle in that just piss me off.
I
It's
mean,
like,
that's always gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, I always say that being on a public platform, you're gonna attract crazies.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you got 1 million followers,
Of course.
come on, dude, there's gonna be some crazy in there because, I mean, you know, sometimes we're their friend that they never had.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, they have a relationship with us.
Yeah.
And we say something that they don't like and then they turn on us.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. It's like, I never met you, dude, but I said something that really upset him. And then now it's like bipolar relationship, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I think I do enjoy about this space and platform, and like even for me, like I always try to figure out what I want to get out of YouTube. You know, not so much in terms of what I want to put out, is what is my purpose for doing this space. And I always get refreshed when I meet somebody that says, hey, I've been watching you for 5 or 6 years and you got me through a lot of hard times, and a lot of the advice that you give or the times you made me laugh helped me to become a better person today.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how many people that works for, but that's like a big driving force for me.
Me too. Yeah, 100%.
Because if not, then, you know, I have other options that I could be doing. There's no, if like from a monetary standpoint, there's a lot of other social media stuff aside from YouTube that I could be doing.
Yeah.
You know?
And this doesn't make the most money, but I think it's the most rewarding to the soul.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, we have the shitty comments, and I think they're the funniest to talk about.
Yeah.
But then,
There's a lot of great comments.
yeah, but the times that I feel like I agree, like when I see them face to face and I'm traveling and I'm doing meet and greets, and then like the reach, the impact that we have, like all over the world, it's like I'm meeting people in Australia or across the nation, and we meet face to face, and I impacted someone's life because I was just being me. And I was just speaking my mind and living how I wanted to.
Dude.
And it's insane because it empowers other people to do what they want.
Dude,
just by example.
Dude, sometimes, dude, I get so jealous because I met a kid. He was like, yeah, man, I'm in med school now. Like, I'm doing really well. I'm like, how did you surpass me, you son of a bitch? Like, you fucking surpassed. There was like, when I was doing Funny Fat Fit, when I was losing, that's when I only lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
There's a kid that came up to me, he goes, dude, I lost 100 pounds doing Funny Fat Fit. I'm like, you fucking asshole. How dare you do better than me, you fuck? But that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
I just, a little bit of me is like, dude, I'm lagging, bro. Like, how are these people losing more weight than me? Like, what the fuck is going on? What am I doing wrong?
So
How about
you
you
end
give
up-
me advice?
You push them harder than
Yeah.
you pushed yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Like I kind of like gave up and they're still going on. And
Yeah.
like, you can do it too, David. I'm like, get your fucking hands off me, man.
Yeah, I think what's cool is that we just get to be ourselves and we stay real, and then, you know, like we build a community out of it, and like it's almost like us trailblazing and us conquering our own fears, like it inspires them to do the same.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, right? Like before YouTube, before all this stuff, there was no way for all of us to kind of connect and feel that kind of support.
Yeah.
Like when you were venturing off doing stand-up comedy on your own, there was no real support network for you.
Yeah.
And then so now, like, I see so many more young people like pursuing things that they want and becoming successful way earlier in life because,
I know, it makes me so jealous.
right. But it's because of, you know, all of our peers and us, and like we kind of set that And it makes it easier too when you see somebody else do it that also looks like you, and you're like, I could fucking do that.
Yeah.
And then you get inspired, and then you end up like surpassing them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think even with like Bobby, right? Bobby doesn't really understand this, but it's like, you know, we always tell him like you were a trailblazer for us, right? For him, he's like, oh, you kids are so successful at a young age, but it's like, well, somebody had to do that in front of us for us to do what we do.
Yeah, like Margaret Cho did it for him.
Yeah,
and then he was our inspiration.
Yep.
Like, oh shit, Asians can be funny.
Yeah, so it was dope.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's what are we at? Like an hour and 20 minutes. That was a good fucking conversation. Talked about Russians, talked about fucking stupid idiots, stupids. And yeah, man, so check it out. So we are now officially up on every platform. I'm talking about Castbox, Spotify, iTunes. And if you are there and you guys can give us a 5-star, it would be very much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
And you guys already know we're going to get those sponsors real soon because who doesn't love themselves some Genius Brains? If you are watching this on YouTube, just make sure that you leave in the comments below topics you want us to go over, articles, all that good stuff, because we're going to cover all this shit. And we are here for you. That's Genius Brains, baby.
Yeah, baby. See you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.